Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we're taking the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum. An early taste of what's to come in the Final Four at the tail end of Season 6 here, as we've got the Next Level Racing colors back on track here this weekend. Beautiful paint scheme on the car. Of course, you guys know, here we are on the Going channel, partnered with Next Level Racing, and if you are a USA viewer, and you're into sim racing, you can actually use my code GOIN25 on the Next Level Racing discount for a 5% discount on your orders as well. Just a little heads up there as we come through into practice, and coming off of a up and down Iowa race where we see Kyle Larson, of course, sweep all stages, win the race with a last lap pass on Corey Heim, and of course a last lap caution that comes out because of my moronic move there and wiping out the 45 of Ross Chastain. So it wasn't pretty, I wasn't proud of it, it was not my intention, it just kind of happened, and I took him out. So I hit him once, and then I finished him off like a couple seconds later, so it kind of doubled down on me being an idiot when it came down to the end of things. So here we are in practice, actually my fifth lap being the quickest, as we would get back out immediately on track, ready for some qualifying here with a goal of a 16 flat basically, as we roll through the high banks here right up against the wall in 1 and 2, and as we head down this back straightaway, we're going to keep that same lane into turns 3 and 4 right up towards the wall. Of course, diamond the corner a little bit now to the line, a 15.801, putting us P11, just shy of a top 10 effort there in qualifying, but I know we're going to be capable of fighting for the win today. Kyle Larson, well, he's on pole after his win in Iowa. Jesse Love P4, Ryan Preece P5, Connor Zilish in the top 10, as you see Carruth in 18th, Logano, Buscher rounding out the top 20. My other teammate of course, Carson Osevar down in 22nd position. Bell, 27th, terrible qualifying effort there for him. And Tyler Reddick in Trackhouse not looking so hot at the bottom of the grid. Amazon Prime, Justin Allgaier picks up the win from Bristol this weekend, as you see the rest of the qualifying or finishing order there scrolling through. Defending champ Daniel Suarez outside of the top 10. And all the way at the bottom of the grid, you got Ryan Sieg there with Sam Mayer as well as Sheldon Creed, as the Cup Series takes on Bristol Motor Speedway. A beautiful, sunny but a little bit cloudy day now, as we finally got our first race of the season where we got a sample of where everybody stacks up, and one of the surprises was the one of Tyler Reddick in Trackhouse. We know that they're going to be quite a bit off this season, but it certainly looks like Tyler Reddick's talent and skill is able to kind of overcome the lack of that car. However, he starts dead last today, so I say that, and we see where he's at today. Rajat Carruth, he's sent to the back in the 48 after failing technical inspection. Some serious work to be done at a track where you don't have a lot of time to get work done if you start in the back. He'll be going a lap down, I'm sure, pretty quickly, unless he's got a super good car, as we are ready to go. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, 2 races in a row, where Hendrick Motorsports locks out the front row. Joe Gibbs takes row 2 with Gibbs, as well as the 81 of Jesse Love. Ryan Preece again inside the top 10, looking strong here from Bristol, as we follow the 45. Of course, I would be lined up directly behind Ross Chastain. One race after I cleaned him out, and we're right on the back of him because he struggles there off the exit of turn 4, as we now slip up, and here comes the 18 of Alex Bowman to the inside, as we're 3 wide in the middle into turn number 3, and we'll get back down to the bottom, but we slide again up the racetrack, opening the door for the 98 this time of Briscoe, but finally clear. We can kind of settle in here after a couple of laps now. Todd Gilliland up in the top 15 mix as well. We've been talking about Penske and the improvement of the 2 drivers outside of Joey Logano, but Zane Smith with a bit of a rough qualifying effort here this weekend. We'll see where he can kind of finish things off now, as we're right on the back of Christian Eckes through 1 and 2 now, jumping back down to the inside. Of course, the top is where you want to be here, as we have a slide. They're trying to stay off the back of the 98, but on the restarts, the inside lane is a very feasible option, and look who's going backwards and stacking up the outside lane. Kyle Larson, Iowa winner, is dropping like a rock after starting on pole position. He is not looking good, and when you see a car dropping like that early in the race, you already know it's race over for Kyle Larson. He is not going to be anywhere close to having a car capable of fighting for a win, and everybody on the top behind him was being stacked up, like Jesse Love and Connor Zilish as well. Love gets down to the inside. He's going forward. Zilish still looking for an opportunity in that WeatherTech 88 to get down to the bottom. Chase Elliott leads with 35 laps to go in stage at number 1. We clear Kyle Larson. We finally move into the top 10. Took me a lot more laps than I would have liked it to start P11 and get into the top 10, but of course, nonetheless, we're here. So we're now starting to make this outside lane work a little bit now to the outside of the 18 of Alex Bowman. I almost wanted to say Kyle Busch there as we come to 33 to go, and you can see Byron up here on the top behind the 11 of Corey Heim, who's behind his teammate of Ross Chastain. Byron jumps down to the bottom, and I say, you know what, I'm going to follow this 24 Valvoline Cadillac, and we're actually right there beating doors even with the 11 of Corey Heim. He actually slides a bit into turn 3, but no harm, no foul. He's all good there on the outside as we continue to go forward. Passing Heim, passing Chastain, who we certainly owe on the side of we owe him a favor after the fact, of course, that we completely screwed him over there on that last lap in Iowa as we clear the 6. And how about Ryan Preece again? What a run this 29 is having. But we jump up to the top and we start to make headway, and we got past Ryan Preece. So we get up into the top 5 at this point now, and we have run down the 24 of William Byron. You got the 81 of Jesse Love there running in P3 as we are now lapping some cars, including the Trackhouse pair of Chase Purdy as well as a 1 of Tyler Reddick. And yeah, Trackhouse is looking pretty god-awful here today, so things not going well for that team. As we know, they lost their flagship status with Honda, who has put the investments now into, of course, that Andretti Global team. Of course, they got a new team at Honda this season with the number 16 colleague car there of Andres Perez, who's, well, actually right in front of us, not looking so good here in this race, as we're to the inside of Ty Gibbs for P3. Perez running in the 37th position now as we look to the inside of GMS 94 of Retzlaff. Will put him a lap down as well. Chase Elliott continues to control this race. He's got a full straightaway gap pretty well on second, and myself here in third, but with the way the lap traffic works, there's still a very real chance we could maybe run down this 9 car of Chase Elliott before this stage comes to an end. And I jump back up to the outside and now allow Byron to my inside, but it doesn't matter because we are now to the outside of second place Jesse Love, and Chase Elliott has gotten stuck in traffic, and you can see that gold bumper up there. We are running him down. You got another part-time car on the field there. That's the 10 of AJ Allmendinger as well. The MBM team is in the field this weekend in the number 66 with Jack Wood actually behind the wheel as we are now comfortably in P2, just over 10 to go. Elliott's got a whole sea of cars to get through, and we are now here to the back of this number 9 Napa Auto Parts machine, and thank you very much. Can we take the lead? To the lead briefly into turn number 1, side by side. Cautions out just literal seconds after we take the lead from Chase Elliott, and we're all going to come into the pits and get ready for tires and fuel, and hopefully we continue to control this race. Reason for the caution was actually watching the right side there at the top. The 99 of Chandler Smith for Trackhouse blows the tire, caution flies, and Trackhouse continues to suck here in Bristol. A lot of position movement there in the pits there behind us as we will now be in command with less than 10 to go. Lap traffic will not play a factor in the race for the stage win as we're side by side with Elliott, who's got me pinned right against the apron. Rolls the top. Chase Elliott back to the lead. What a restart from the number 9, and here comes Chase Briscoe as well, a team that hasn't won in over a season. RFK Racing. Here comes Briscoe into the conversation now with 7 laps to go in stage 1. He's going to get me on the top as well. We drop down to the 3rd spot now, but we can finally jump up to the outside, open up the wheel a little bit, and Chase Elliott's going to actually do the same thing. He's leaving the door open for the 98 of Chase Briscoe, and hold on, we might have a new contender up front here as Chase Briscoe looks to the inside. He clears Chase Elliott now. It's the battle of the chases into turn 3, but new leader Chase Briscoe for RFK in that high point number 98 here, as we are all over the back of Chase Elliott with a few laps to go in the stage, and Briscoe had driven away. Christian Eckes just behind myself, beating doors with the 9 as we exit turn 2. Now he slides a little bit, but all good there. Elliott went up the track, comes back down right on my door. Now good short track racing here with 2 laps to go in stage 1, and we've got a mirror full of several drivers at 6, the 54 as well right there, hard on our tail as Elliott continues to stay clear. I jump up top, he tried to cover it off briefly right there. Now he is going to cover it off here with 1 lap to go in stage 1. It's all the 98 of Chase Briscoe, not even a contest right now. He will easily cruise to the stage win as we're dueling it out with these guys all around us. Into turn 3, Elliott covers the bottom. He'll hang on to P2. Briscoe wins stage number 1. We cross the stripe, just barely holding off the number 6 of Eckes there for P3. That was a fun first stage of racing right there. That's some good short track NASCAR racing. That's what you fill these grandstands for, as we'll get ready, of course, for now, stage 2. As I got the Xfinity race on in the background from Iowa, and I just watched Connor Zilisch completely clean out 2 teammates. That's not a good look. Nonetheless, let's get ready for the second stage. We'll be row 3. Inside P3, row 2 P3. Of course, nobody pitted there because we didn't run a whole lot of laps there after that last pit stop. We're back underway, stage 2. Chase Briscoe leads the way. 40 laps of racing here in stage number 2. Briscoe gets clear of the 9. We get clear of the 6 now, and just barely clear. And how about RFK running with 3 cars right now in the top 5? You got the 98 leading. Busher in the 17 now into 4th, and Eckes there in P5. I mean, a great showing there. They just need Josh Berry to get up here in the conversation as Elliott stays clear on the exit of turn 2. Now he migrates down to the inside. We'll just kind of settle in here behind him on this inside lane. And of course, we're going to jump up to this top here to get that more speed on the exit of the corner, get some comfort now as we continue to really just try to keep our name in this conversation with that 98 of Briscoe, who's just flat out in control of this race right now. William Byron's moved his way forward as well. I believe I just saw the 60 of Josh Berry actually behind us there. So we've got like all of RFK having a great race here now and kind of finding their form once again, which is nice to see now. And I mean, right now, I mean, still too early to tell, but in position to maybe score a win with one of their cars now as we continue to fight with this number 9 of Chase Elliott. Now only 1 win on the season in season 5 for Chase Elliott. Hendrick Motorsports had a really weird season. I mean, we're used to seeing Kyle Larson win 4 or 5 races, Chase Elliott win 4 or 5 races, but Larson won 1 race, Chase Elliott won 1 race. Of course, Carruth won 1 race. William Byron won 2. That was the most wins on their team, but they did have as well Corey Day filling in for an injured Kyle Larson at one point win a race. So it really wasn't in terms of the win column what we expected from Hendrick, but they overall still had a great season. So nonetheless, we clear the 9 and we completely drive away from the 9 of Chase Elliott, and we're all now over the back just about of this 98 of Chase Briscoe as he is starting to hit lap traffic, and we're not even halfway through stage 2, and you can kind of see we're playing a bit of a chess match right here due to the fact that we have got these lap cars, and we have got as well this 98. He's kind of going all over the place. He'll go to the top, and then he'll jump down to the bottom, and he's kind of keeping me guessing, and I'm having to navigate the same traffic. So he might go to the top, and then by the time I get to the same car, I have to run a different lane. So we're just kind of going back and forth. Now he's up to the outside, and here I am just following this 98 at this point here, passing AJ Allmendinger as well to the outside of the 94 of Parker Retzlaff now as we head down into turn number 3, and Briscoe's going to get clear, and he might jump back down to the inside. So the lanes are constantly kind of going all over the place now as we're right to the back of the 98. This could be the chance, but Zane Smith having a rough day in that number 12 for the first time this season. He got in my way, so we had to get back down to the bottom. There's the 99, of Chandler Smith, who blew a tire earlier in this race. Actually, he's rebounding into a little bit higher of a running position now as we'll clear him. Now Briscoe jumps back up to the top. That's how you know Briscoe's got a good car, because he is able to put his car anywhere right now and pass his lap cars. But we are all over the back of this 98 as we exit turn 4, but just not an opportunity to pass him, and by the time we get a chance to pass him, it's now at a point where he's catching a lap car, passing them, and then I have to set up to pass the lap car, like right here. Kyle Larson started front row, and he is just having a terrible day, down to 25th, but this time we'll split the 5 of Larson now as we exit turn 2, but Briscoe gets through significantly better than I am able to. Now as we're now going to get covered off by the 98, Briscoe shuts the door, so we have to check up through 3, and now as we exit turn 2, lap 28, looking to the inside, this could be the moment we take the lead again here in Bristol, in control of this race. We very briefly had the lead in stage 1, but Briscoe is going to be able to stay ahead into turn number 1. We continue wheel to wheel through 1 and off of turn 2, but Briscoe just has enough to stay clear, and now he slides across the back bumper of the 34 of Jones and clears him, and now we have to get back down to the inside. This is great short track racing once again here from Bristol as we'll clear that 34 of Jones, and it's just a back and forth chess match here between myself and this 98 now as we go to the inside of the 51 of Justin Haley in 30th place there, back with the Rick Ware Racing team he is this season now. Less than 10 to go in stage number 2, and Briscoe still finds himself in control. Ryan Priest has been dropping back over the course of this race now, as you can see him back here running in 22nd position. Not terrible, but not what we expect, that's for sure, as we'll pass at 29. And how about Chase Purdy out there on the outside running, I believe, 29th right now in that 00. Bubba Wallace, we pass, of course, just his teammate a few laps ago. Now we're passing him, but now you can see Briscoe starting to put a few cars in between himself and I, and that's going to make it a lot harder to challenge him with 4 laps to go in stage 2. We jump 3 wide to the top, and Briscoe's actually caught up behind the 32 of Corey Days. We'll clear the 48 of Caruth now as we are right to the back of Briscoe, who's to the inside of Day, who runs dead last as we exit turn number 4. Clear there. Briscoe to the inside with 3 to go of Nick Sanchez as we look to the right rear. A lot of these Andretti cars around here, but Sanchez an extra lap down in 28th as we come to the final lap. Still can't get past this 98 of Briscoe. He uses up the 31. We go to the outside right here on the exit of turn 2 at a bit of an aggressive move from the 98 who's got me covered into turn 3. Not going to quite be enough off of turn 4. Does Josh Berry hang on to the lead lap? It's close, but Chase Briscoe takes the stage, and we get P2. Connor Zilish had worked his way up to P3. Jesse Love as well as Ryan Blaney, your top 5. What a stage. That was fun. Again, this race has been awesome. Host of our P7, Gilliland in the number 2, running P8 over Chase Elliott, and rounding out the top 10, Joey Logano. Everybody, of course, is going to come into the pits here for tires and fuel, and maybe we could leapfrog Briscoe as we get ready for stage 3. The answer is absolutely we can. How about Jack Wood gain 7 spots in the debut for his Cup Series career with this MBM team now as we are ready to go back racing, and now we are in control. We lead into turn number 1. Stage 3, 85 full laps of racing on the way right here. We were green from start to finish in stage number 2 as Briscoe rolls the top on the exit of the corner. Can he get clear through 3 and off of turn 4? Watch out, here comes Blaney as well. Briscoe clear, Blaney to my right rear now, as I just have not been able to get the car to just roll on this inside all race long. We saw it earlier with Chase Elliott, now we see it again here. Speaking of Elliott, trying to get back up in the mix, but that 9 car, ever since he's lost the lead, clearly hasn't had the speed he's needed. Atlanta winner, Joe Gibbs driver, Jesse Love into P4 as well to my inside. Zilish, by the way, had a bad pit stop. He, of course, was P3 at the end of stage 2. He's way back now down the order, so he's got some serious work to do as Blaney has jumped up to the outside and now is really stacking me up. This is what you don't want to see for myself, is when we are rolling the top, but one of the other drivers jumps up to the top in front of me, because it completely kills the momentum that I am able to carry off the corner. And now we're dropping down to P5. Here comes Hocevar to the inside, and here comes even the 2 of Gilliland now as we head down this front straightaway. I actually hit the brake on the straightaway to jump down into that hole between the 4 and the 2, as now Hocevar coming up slowly into the conversation now. He had a great car in Iowa, had a tire failure, of course, late in that race that, of course, put him in the wall, spun him around, and he had only a few laps of racing to try and navigate his way back forward, and didn't quite get the finish that he deserved in what we thought was a race he could have won. Of course, it went to Kyle Larson instead, who was just as good as Hocevar was. We actually dropped behind Gilliland in P6. At this point, Bubba Wallace, tire down, Crash into the outside wall, collecting Brent Cruz. Caution flies. We all stay out and immediately get back into the racing action. We'll be row 3. Outside, P6 now, as Briscoe still in control. Now, the nerves got to be picking up for that RFK team. Brad Kozlowski, of course, what's he thinking right now as we head down in through 1 and out of turn number 2. Briscoe clear. Carson Hocevar in P3, maybe P2 once they come off turn 4, maybe even leading. As Briscoe jumps up to the outside, he gives up the inside lane to the number 4 of Carson Hocevar as they'll go wheel to wheel into turn 1. 73 to go. We might have a new leader now, and it's not my Junior Motorsports car. It's going to be my teammate of Hocevar. Sure enough, clear. Carson Hocevar to the lead. The 2 of Todd Gilliland into P3. Now Jesse Love goes backwards as well as he's trying to get back down to the bottom. He does. He gets down to the inside, just barely in front of the 6 of Christian Eckes, and he has a bit of a kind of momentum just killed on the exit of 2 that allows me to go forward. Now as Hocevar actually jumps up to the far outside, and now he's going to be vulnerable. He leaves the door open for the 2 of Todd Gilliland. Gilliland to the lead here now with less than 70 laps to go from Bristol Motor Speedway. Ryan Blaney into the conversation. Now look at them. Now the 2 jumps to the top. Blaney 3 wide to the bottom. Hocevar was 3 wide middle. He backs out of it, and now here comes Jesse Love. And now to the conversation. Unbelievable racing as now the 98 is gone all the way down to P5 as we come through 3 and 4. And now new leader, Ryan Blaney. Hocevar down to P4, then eventually to P5 as the 98 has a terrible exit. Hocevar has to lift and opens the door wide open for myself now to the inside as we exit turn 4 down this front straightaway, crossing the stripe. We'll actually clear the 4 on the exit of the corner. Back into the top 5 here from Bristol to the inside of the 98, trying to get through on this high point Ford Mustang. Briscoe doesn't quite have the car that he had in stage 2 or the end of stage 1 as well, as Hocevar is actually going to re-clear me on the inside. That 4 car has got some speed now as we continue to watch him try and fight his way back forward as we continue alongside. Actually a bit of contact right there with the 98 into turn number 1. A bit of a slide. We kind of used him up. We clear him as we exit turn 2. Briscoe not going to be a fan of that one, I'm sure. But now as we continue to go forward, lap traffic playing a significant role as Hocevar has gotten through on Gilliland to move himself into P3 as we're to the inside of the 32 of Corey Day as well as Gio Ruggiero there in that number 15 as we continue to just slowly but march our way back into the conversation as we still run P5, and Ryan Blaney still leads this race here on that number 23, having a great run now as he tries to visit victory lane early on in this season as Carson Hocevar's dumped to the top. Don't mind if we do. This will move us up into P4, and then we can start to maybe put some pressure on the 2 of Gilliland to get ourselves back into the top 3. We clear that 4, who's now going to get passed by the 24. Smoke from the 6, that's Eckes. Christian Eckes into the pit lane with an engine issue now as we'll pass the 1 of Tyler Reddick. And now as we come to lap 123, the 9 goes around behind, collecting the 4 of Hocevar. Caution flies, resetting everything. Tires and feel. Simple. Elliott done. His race is over. Kyle Larson's the last one on the lead lap in P20. But Chase Elliott's race comes to an end as we'll get ready for 4 tires and feel. From the 4th position, we cycle through into P3. Bowman gains 8 positions there in the pits as we get ready to go green. It's been an action-packed race here from Bristol, and we're back underway now. The lead still belongs to Ryan Blaney. Love gets a bit of a better launch. We give a shot to Blaney to just try and help him out, but actually hurts him. Maybe not. He actually clears 81 as we're wheel to wheel with the 2 of Gilliland into turn 3 now, and Jesse Love settles into P2. Josh Berry fills up my mirror. 2 RFK cars still up here in the top 6 now. 48 to go. Gilliland is able to jump down in front of us as we roll through the center of 1 off of turn 2, and just every restart in this race we haven't been able to fire off on this inside lane like we usually expect to. And now as well, I mean, even off of turn 4 up on the outside, the 98 of Briscoe has an opportunity to get past me now, and he'll clear us on the exit of turn 2 down this back straightaway. The 54 of Ty Gibbs as well into the conversation. Hocevar is back down to the bottom behind us in P7 as he is trying to work his way back forward before this race is over now. I mean, don't rule out that number 4 of Carson Hocevar as he would actually get to my inside. He passed Gibbs and gets to my bottom and is able to pass me. I mean, I just don't have what I need as we look to the inside of that Samsara 81 of Jesse Love as we exit turn 4, wheel to wheel with him on the exit of the corner right there. And we were watching some great racing all throughout this field here in Bristol. This has been absolutely fantastic, but we clear Love, a bit of contact there. He's actually starting to come back at me though on the inside. He did a little nice switch back, and we're going to continue to race hard against each other now as he clears me back on the exit of turn 2 on lap 136 as I continue to try and roll this top. Ryan Blaney continues to lead, but he's about to start hitting lap traffic. We still have 35 laps to go once we come back to the start-finish line here. So, I mean, there's still time for things to really, materialize and change throughout this race. So it's far from over, I feel like, as we're now going to get our lane covered off by this 81 now as we continue to just try and navigate our way around him. But I honestly feel like we're about a 5th to 6th place car at this point in the race. It's just not there as we would now hit lap traffic, and we're following this 81 of Jesse Love. Ryan Blaney is engulfed in traffic, is on the inside, but we've got a problem developing, not for me, but for Ryan Blaney. He has got a group of 2 lap cars in front of him that are not moving out of the way. So that is allowing, as we actually pass 81 of Jesse Love, basically he's got what I have right here, 2 lap cars right in front of him side by side that are refusing to move, and the car on the inside can't clear the car on the top. So Ryan Blaney is now stuck. He's not going anywhere. And now suddenly it's backing everybody up and it's bringing everybody together. So we have now run down the 2 of Gilliland for 4th, the 98 of Briscoe for 3rd. They're both running the outside lane. Perfect for me, but the question is which lane's going to be moving, because if the 23 is blocked in, I mean, that means nobody's going anywhere if he's still maintaining this lead. So it's a really weird sequence with 26 laps to go, and we just got to be patient. We got to let this kind of work itself out. We got to let it play through. I mean, we just got to make the right moves, basically, to put ourselves in position to win. And sometimes that means running the bottom, sometimes it means jumping up to the top. We jump up to the top to roll around the outside of that Generators number 2 of Gilliland up into P4. And now you see Briscoe's doing the same thing. He runs the top, he jumps down to the bottom. You see Blaney in that very light blue Toyota up there in the distance. He just can't go anywhere because the lap cars can't clear each other and they're stuck fighting. So now we're back to the bottom in P4, just behind this 98 of Chase Briscoe with 22 laps to go. He forces the issue there to get up the inside of Nick Sanchez, and we continue to follow through, getting some of these lap cars out of the way and hopefully opening the door for us to fight as Briscoe makes an aggressive move to get up the inside of Zane Smith and that number 12 Money Lion Ford Mustang here. 19 to go, and it's right now 1, 2, 3, 4, the top 4 all right here, bumper to bumper. Here comes Connor Zilish. Look in the mirror, Zilish is back. He's into the top 5 now as Blaney. I mean, he's probably cool with it going like this to the end because no one's really putting some pressure on this 23. So I'm contemplating at this point, should I go for it and jump to the top 3 wide? As we hit 16 laps to go, we're running out of time. We actually give a big smash to the back of the 98, and I say it's time. We're going to jump up to the outside if we can, but Zilish actually beats me there. So now I'm trapped on the bottom, and now we have to find a way to clear this 88 or let him clear us, and then we'll jump up to the top because we gotta do something. And there it is, Zilish clears us. I jump up to the top and look at us roll through 3 and 4 to the outside of the 98, who blows a tire and crashes into us and the 48, and around he goes. Caution's gonna fly, damage done. We made the move, and as soon as we did, we are on the, of course, receiving end of a tire failure and a crash into the outside wall. Not what we wanted to see, but of course we're going to stay out. No need to pit. Tires are okay. Fuel's going to be okay. We're P7 for the restart as Ryan Blaney and Carson Hocevar will be your front row. Zilish P3 there on the row 2. Watch out for that. We're back racing here with less than 10 to go. 9 laps of racing remain here from Bristol, and it's Ryan Blaney trying to clear the number 4 on the exit of turn number 2. Don't rule out Jesse Love, the 6 of Gilliland, his teammate of Logano. Zilish now to the inside of Carson Hocevar, trying to score his first win as a junior motorsports driver, and that would be his second career win, of course, overall, as he did pick up that 1 win with Trackhouse last season. will clear the 2 of Gilliland out of turn 2, immediately jump back down to the inside of this number 81 as we roll through 3 and off of turn 4. P5 looking for P4, 7 to go. Blaney's jumped to the top. Now Hocevar to the inside. Could Carson Hocevar take the win here in Bristol as we exit turn 2? All of Junior Motorsports in the top 5 and to the lead. The number 4 of Carson Hocevar in control now with just a handful of laps to go. Zilish dropping back to Logano and Hocevar's running away. And without a caution, it's game over. It'll be in Carson Hocevar's hands here today as we're right to the left rear of Connor Zilish now looking through 1 and 2, trying to pass our new teammate here for the 4th position. Ryan Blaney drops to 3rd. Logano into P2 now as Zilish continues to fight strong on the top. Logano clears the 23 of Ryan Blaney with 3 laps to go in this race, and actually Hocevar is not really driving that far away now as he's running the top, coming to 2 to go, but it doesn't matter. Look at the gap he's got now. He jumps to the bottom. Joey Logano jumps to the top. Blaney swaps him to the inside. We clear the 88, but I leave the door open right there because I know I can't even use the top because that 22 as now Hocevar in full control for half a lap longer. He needs it to stay green. Rolling through 3 and 4 with Logano on our outside right there on our door. White flag is in the air. What a race it's been, and it's going to go in the direction of our team, Junior Motorsports, defending Cup champs with myself, and now Carson Hocevar leads through 3 and 4 as we take 3rd from Logano. Carson Hocevar is going to continue his momentum and win in Bristol as we'll settle for P3 and all of Junior Motorsports in the top 5 with Zilish scoring a 5th place effort. What a race. Unbelievable. Josh Berry in the top 10. Jack Wood in the part-time field, or in the part-time car there as well in the top 10 as you see the rest of the finishing order. What an awesome race that was, and you had no idea who was going to win right down till the very end of that race, and that was awesome. It was unpredictable, and Briscoe ends up out of the race after having a great car. Unfortunate to see for him, and we'll take a look at the playoff grid following today's race. Of course, we are the top driver on points. Zane Smith, the last one in behind Chase Elliott and Josh Berry. Alex Bowman just a few points out. It's been a bit of a slow start to the season for that number 18 as we head into the road course of Sonoma in the next episode, which I'll see you guys then. Excited for some road course racing. I think we've got a very real chance to get our first win in Sonoma. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.